One of the questions I have always asked myself is why does phone cameras does not come with a kit of lenses? I remember in 2008 buying my wife Laura a Nikon camera, this one right here. And I remember the guy at Circuit City telling me if you want to take perfect picture, good quality photos, you need a good camera with a good lenses. Lenses like this one right here. But nowadays, iPhones take some amazing pictures without a variety of lenses. Why? Why is that? Did that guy back in the day lie to me? In my small photographer's mind, panoramic pictures are not only good but sophisticated and flat out cool pictures. So in my mind, there must be some special lenses for that. I assumed lenses were the secret of panoramic pictures, but my assumptions were wrong. The secret was not revealed to me. It turned out that a standard normal lenses, not a sophisticated lenses, neither with a wider or a longer field, but a normal one was what we needed for a perfect panoramic picture. Because there is a minimal distortion on a normal lenses, resulting in a realistic panoramic photo. Who would knew? Lenses were not the secret, but something called the field of view of the lenses. Every lens has a field of view, which is how much of the scene gets captured by the lens. A wide field of view scoops up much more of the scene than a smaller field of view. So just like our eyes are windows to our outer world, lenses are the eyes of the camera to the outer world. And just like each person has different eyes with different capabilities, so too lenses. That means that what one person sees, another might not be able to. Same goes for lenses. When it comes to capturing the heart of God's plan for creation, the church is the perfect lens with the perfect field of view that will allow the world to understand God's plan completely. The church informs the world about how much of God's plan they can see. In other words, it is through the church that the plan of God is revealed to the world. Making God's manifold wisdom known then becomes our mission. That's exactly the point Paul is making in Ephesians chapter 3 verse 10 when he says, so that through the church the manifold wisdom of God might now be made known to the rulers and authorities in the heavenly places. In other words, the existence and growth of the church have implications that resound, echoes, and impact through heaven and earth and the entire spiritual realm. It not only affects human, it affects spiritual beings too. Our mission goes beyond the physical boundaries of our world, of our existence. It is also a spiritual one. It is a multidimensional one. This panoramic view encompasses all creation, the visible and the invisible. The church is not only making known the visible creation, but also to the invisible ones in the heavenly places. What a great responsibility! It is great because we are responsible for widening the scope of view of the visible and the invisible by making known the manifold wisdom of God. The enemies of God, with their small field of view, all the unfriendly principalities and authorities had become aware of the profound wisdom of God, the salvation of man, and the redemption of all creation, and they tried to stop it, to frustrate the work of God from coming to fruition by the crucifixion of Jesus. And after a momentary victory lap, they received a revelation that they had never dreamed of. Their lenses were too complex, too distorted, giving them a small field of view, keeping them from seeing the panoramic picture of God's wisdom that was being unfolded right before their eyes. The evil forces, with their distorted lenses that kept them from seeing the whole picture, were also used to manipulate mankind by causing mankind to do evil and bringing about this crucifixion of Jesus. But what they did not know is that God, in His wide field of view, in His wisdom, encountered with their evil deeds, with their plans, and used as mere instruments in His own plan of redemption for all creation, and used their weakness as the very means by which He had formulated the plan of victory in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. The church then was born. The evil forces then saw the church arise as a result of Christ's death and be the catalyst of what they could now perceive to have been the hidden purpose of God that is now revealed to us, the salvation of mankind, the redemption of all creation, and the restoration of souls through the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. The distorted lenses with a small field of view are still being used today in the life of millions of people, which keeps them from capturing the panoramic view of God's wisdom. The world is still being manipulated by the complex, small field of view lenses, causing mankind to do evil and to bring sin and destruction into it. But the church, though, the church, we are the called out ones. The church has been called out and have been empowered with a simple wide field of view lenses, and has been given the responsibility to make known to everyone the manifold wisdom of God to all created beings, visible and invisible. These ought to excite us, to motivate and remind us that we are called for something far greater than our own individual salvation. We are called to be the lenses that provide created beings with a wider field of view, becoming then the means by which God teaches the universe a lesson, a beautiful lesson. And the lesson is that all are welcome into the family of God through the work of Christ on the cross of Calvary. The way we as Christians live here on earth becomes a declaration, a proclamation to the world around us and to the heavenly beings that God is still God, that He is enthroned on high, and all the promises in Him are still yes and amen. We are the lenses by which not only human beings, but also angelic beings are watching to capture the full picture of God's plan for the whole sum of creation. Wow, what a great responsibility that is. That should excite us, that God has placed us at the center of His plan for all creation. Get this, He widened the field of view by His work in the church, and He revealed it to human and angelic beings through us, the church. So an important sin of the panoramic view is that God doesn't use the angels to reveal His wisdom to the church, but that He does use the church, you and I, to reveal His wisdom to the angelic beings, both faithful and fallen ones. Now that we know our responsibility as the church, to be the lenses to the world, to make known God's manifold wisdom, the question is, how? How do you and I reveal such a revelation to a world that is visible and invisible? A world that is still under the manipulation of the evil lenses. That is the question. How?